Okay, as far as stipulations in a stipulation draft goes, I say bring it on. Just like the cheerleading musical.
Bring It On was not a musical.
They made it into a Broadway musical. Get with the times.
Hopefully I get like the non-creatures one. I'll see what I can brew up with that.
I've never done a stipulation draft before, so I'm incredibly worried about it.
Excited for the stipulation draft. I would want something immersive, something based on lore, story in any way.
Stipulations I'd like to get, definitely anything like band related or dad rock. Anything I can just squeeze dad rock into.
I think the one that I would really want is just draft bears, because those are my draft decks anyway. So if I can just draft all the 2/2s for 2, like I feel like I'll be okay.
Just give me a plot and let me build a story around it. I could do that.
I'm just hoping I get a stipulation that's just like draft all the good cards.
No matter what, we both agree that we're going to train wreck the legacy draft.
Yes.
So really, it was very nice of them to also make it the stipulation draft.
Yeah,
so it will look like the stipulations are what made our decks terrible.
And not just the fact
And
that
not
we
just us.
don't know Legacy
Not
Cube.
just us.
Oh, I'm not concerned. I think it's going to be loads of fun.
Hi, welcome back to the booth.
Oh, hello.
And so you can see that the players are just about ready to go, and we're going to be down in the feature match area momentarily here to watch some of these drafts unfold. Now, again, the ones that we've chosen here, we've got Jimmy, who's on WorldNet.
Oh no, we got Wedge actually.
That isn't right. What is he doing down there?
Oh, because he's got the disaster movie, so they just paired up the subjective one. That's what happened there.
I see that. I'm a little disappointed.
Well,
that is our choice.
I know. Well, we can check in. We can check in.
We'll
with
check
Jimmy.
in with him. Yeah,
because
and
we
I can
have
actually bring
access
it
to.
up.
Again, the advantage to doing computer that we want, so we can actually
that's
look
4
at any
seconds
drafter.
left on the clock there. He's picked Crux of Fate here. I'm
Oh, I see.
assuming that we're watching.
This is the
Wedge
disaster.
here.
This seems like disaster movie.
Crux
yes.
of Fate, I have
That's
to
pretty
say,
good.
is very good.
So staying on color could be upheaval. That's there you go. There's your disaster movie there.
Yeah, Nissa Vastwood Seer is a tough sell for a disaster movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Upheaval is not. That's easy. That comes out really well.
Yeah, I think.
Look at the picture.
Yeah, I mean the picture alone just sort of sells it. I think Lightning Strike you could maybe make an argument for, but upheaval's pretty solid. As you can see from that wide shot, we have.
I like Lightning Strike. It's like a small disaster movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a short film.
Yeah.
Instead of an earthquake, it's just one tree.
Real quick. We have Matt Tabak and Brian David Marshall from coverage there to in previous years, the subjective things have gotten into sort of a, I don't want to say an argument, but it has ended up with the.
Oh, I've been on that end of it. It's an argument, buddy. Don't pull any punches here.
The players trying to worm their way into taking the picks that they want, and that's not happening this year.
What, they can just take whatever they want?
No, they're just the judges, Matt and Brian are not allowing themselves to be open to being swayed. They are just like no. They're gonna put the hammer down. If someone's trying to take, like if Wedge here, let me see, what would be a terrible pick. Gideon Jura doesn't sound especially, not that they'd want that, but that doesn't sound like a disaster movie. So they'd be like, oh, I want to take Gideon because maybe no, shutting it down.
It would just be done.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to take here? Scab Clan Rampager? What is that?
Malicious Affliction.
Oh, that sounds like a great movie.
Yeah, it's.
You want to go after this?
Yeah,
I'll pay. I'm
sounds
inviting
great.
You, yeah.
First in line.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's again sort of like Lightning Strike. It's more of a slow burn as far as disaster movies go. It's more of like a personal injury movie.
Yeah.
But I think that's okay.
Yeah.
How's are we able to jump to Rob Schuster's side of things and see the other half of the subjective one? Which is the
that's the romantic comedy.
Romantic comedy one. I do not envy.
I have no idea how you even do that.
By the way, Shallow Grave. Wedge has to pick Shallow Grave. That's a horror movie right there. Or Badlands, actually.
Badlands.
Or Recurring Nightmare. Wow, there's actually a lot of options. So
we see that he's sitting right next to him here. He just passed him that.
So this is look at this, by the way. Show and Tell. I could see that as a rom-com.
Show and Tell. Did he already?
He's
pick
already
a
picked Show and Tell.
That's a great rom-com name.
He's already picked Show and Tell, Sylvan Library.
Oh my God, there's a
and
Man of War.
Eternal Witness. So there is a Man of War.
No, that's a tough sell.
That's your favorite card.
It
but
is.
I don't think that works as a rom-com. I could be wrong.
What about Stroke of Genius? Is
I don't.
is that the kind of movie that we want?
I don't think that's.
All right. I just, we got to ask. Boros Charm
I think
has the word charm in it.
I think Karmic Guide is actually the best pick in this.
Wow,
pack.
he took Man of War.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, I obviously support it, like for political reasons.
Yeah.
But no way, that's a good. I wouldn't go see that rom-com.
No.
This one's great. The rom-com one is really good.
No, come on, Sundering Titan.
No, it's got to be maybe Explore. That could be like kind of a eccentric, kind of a.
Yeah, I could
who
see
knows?
that.
Where does your life go?
Yavimaya Elder is a.
Come on.
It's like
Rob.
something Dame Judi Dench would be in, maybe. I don't think that's quite what we're looking for.
Rob, don't think about it.
But I think it's Explore. I think it's definitely Explore. But
look, if you invited me to go watch a rom-com with you, first I would say yes.
Yeah. Well,
And
I appreciate
two,
it.
if you said we're gonna go see Explore, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, all
and
right.
if you said we're gonna go see Yavimaya Elder, I'd be like, oh, had plans that weekend. Wow.
Let him get
Rob
away
has
with
just gone off the rails here.
it. Oh no.
Opposition sounds like a bad romantic comedy.
He's gonna pick Fertile Ground, isn't he? Opposition might not be bad, actually. Opposition might not be bad.
Fertile Ground actually works.
Yeah, they just went with.
He hasn't picked.
Oh, he hasn't picked yet.
Underground River.
Okay, they saw the line.
Fertile Ground's definitely a romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it romantic?
Isn't
I like
it
that.
romantic
I like
indeed? How's are we able to sort of jump back and forth pretty freely to see how Wedge is doing? All right, let's see how the disaster movies are shaping up.
Banefire.
Oh, Banefire's fantastic. So he did end up with Recurring Nightmare as well, like we figured.
Inox Survivalist. That's great. Right? It's like post-apocalyptic.
Oh yeah, he's the last surviving Inoc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last of the Inoc.
There's a Skull Crack.
I'm not buying that.
Profane Command. This is looking like a much more scattershot deck.
Profane Command is
As something that's more like a horror movie, sort of like The Omen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Summoning Trap. No, not so much.
I wonder what he's going to go with here. I think, yeah, I feel like Profane Command could work, or Carrion Feeder. I'm not sure. It's a tough choice. Profane Command is very metal, as someone in the chat points out. Oh, he got the perfect.
He got Armageddon.
It's the perfect choice.
Wow.
Fantastic.
How does run so well? Is my only question.
So you're taking a quick peek in on Jimmy Wong, correct?
I am, and I got to say, I like where Jimmy's going here. I like
Jimmy
the cut of his jib, as we say in the business. Now, that makes perfect sense, though, because we're about halfway through the pack, and he's on the World Knit stipulation. So he's allowed to play. It's going to end up being basically any mana, he can play a bunch of vivid lands. He's going to be able to cast all of his spells.
Yeah.
The question is, what are those spells? And so far, he has a 7-drop, a 7-drop, and an 8-drop. Now, he's also got some cheaper cards to help kind of fuel things forward as well. And he almost took a land here and then was like, wait, no.
You don't need the land.
Don't need that.
We also note he's. It looks like he's getting. Is he getting passed from? Oh yeah. Hang on.
Are you coming to my stream?
Oh yeah. You're on screen right now.
Oh.
Hit that
Well,
full screen there.
I wasn't ready for that. I was just checking in myself. Maybe.
There we go.
There we go.
Full screen mode. Yes, indeed. I'll have to hide the taskbar or something.
Yeah, that's why I was verbalizing all of these cards.
Esports. We have. He's now selected Dual Caster Mage. I mean, I guess. Oh no, thinking about Dromoka. Okay.
Dragon Lord Dromka,
Yeah.
that seems fine. I mean, his curve, like that is actually his #1 consideration with WorldNet.
So again, this is the this is the World Knit stipulation, which means that Jimmy has to play every card he drafts, which is, in Cube is not necessarily a downside, and is probably an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I want this. Like, I want the freedom of being able to cast every card that I draft one time. Like, I wish I could do this in a regular Cube.
Yeah.
I mean, because you look at it, right, and you think, yeah, but when you get down to the bottom of the pack, it gets a little sketchy. And that's not entirely untrue, but, like, look at his last couple of picks. Like, he just picked up a Gilt Leaf Windward. That's a perfectly fine Magic card.
Yeah. I mean, in Cube, you get good cards typically right to the end. And I note that Jimmy's kind of trying to stay broadly on color.
Why?
I don't know.
I see it too.
Just pick the best cards. You don't have to be on color.
Yeah, he passed a Flame Slash a little while ago, and I was like, oh, that seems good. And he's like, take
Okay,
a
well, there we
drop.
go. There's a Devil's Play, which I guess is fine.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, he can always flash it back.
That's true. You can always flash it back.
And then he gets unlucky and finds a land last.
Yeah, of course.
Which
So
is
now
funny.
he has to play. Well, that might be helpful because the Vivid lands are going to run out of counters eventually.
Good point.
And
All right,
they-
let's see
they
what
come in
this next,
tapped.
because now this is where the true freedom comes in, right? He's going to open up this next pack, and he can just take anything he wants out of this pack. So just whatever the best card is that fits what he's trying to do, he can take it.
So there's an Ajani, there's an Erebos' Titan. It looks like he's definitely considering Ajani.
Don't know why. Though this pack is a little weak for what he's doing.
That's fair. What would you? Yeah, there's no sort of.
I
just
would
like
take one of the two sweepers. I would take a Supreme Verdict or a Languish here.
Mm-hmm. That makes
And
sense.
if given the choice, I would take the Supreme Verdict because I can cast them both equally, and one of them kills everything and can't be countered.
I'm pleased to see that Languish will be joining the Legacy Cube.
Agree.
I think it's a good include. Yeah, it looks like he's decided to go with the Supreme Verdict.
I like it, Jimmy. I like what you're doing here, sir.
Should we pop back to the feature match and see how the disaster movies are going? And that might give you an opportunity to check in with someone else. I'd be curious actually to see one of the people who Parallax Wave. That's a heck of a movie. I'd watch that one. I'd be curious to see
yes.
how one of the people who went AFK, how their picks look so far. Yol or Melissa.
Right, because they just got to sit there and watch the picks go
just
by.
watch
right?
it all happen. Looks like since we left, Wedge has picked up Tectonic Edge,
Love it.
Godless Shrine.
Yeah, it was one of his last picks.
That's
We'll
pretty good.
forgive him.
That's all right. Corpse Dance.
I gotta say, Tectonic Edge is really good.
Yeah.
Like
So
that is
that's
totally a disaster movie.
That's sort of like a Roland Emmerich film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tectonic Edge. I think it got really good on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
Great movie.
So are you checking in with?
No, I'm still on Jimmy,
Oh, okay.
and I can't figure out how to not be on Jimmy.
Desecration Demon. I think that's fair. I don't know. I feel like Unburial Rites is a pretty good possibility. But they went with Desecration Demon. Ah, no, this is the pack that Languish. There we go. This is the pack that we just saw Jimmy open. So obviously Jimmy and Wedge are at the same table. Looks like he's now considering Languish as the disaster movie of choice.
Now we do have two separate drafts going here, right?
Yes. So the way that this has worked, just so that the teams can't basically feed, can't very easily feed their own teammates, is that the two teams have divided up into two pods, each pod having 4 members of the community team and 4 members of the Wizards team. And I don't know if they're actually also seated. I don't know if we've alternated their seating, but yeah, it is 4 and 4, so they can't just be like, all right, everyone, don't take those cards because I need those for this stipulation that I'm doing, because that that eliminates the whole point of the stipulation draft, which is that it's meant to be difficult. It's is not meant to be easy.
Tell you what, they didn't do that when you and I were in it.
No.
We had 3 of us in a row, and we figured it out.
Yeah.
And we were just...
Well, we were also drafting Scars? Scars of Mirrodin, I think? Yeah. So now he's looking at Phyrexian Obliterator, which...
Yes.
Yeah, is that or Burst Lightning? Which again is another one of
which
those...
is another mini...
Very, very short movie event.
I like Phyrexian Obliterator here.
Mm-hmm. Like to see it crawling out of the ground. Obliterator works, sure, exactly.
Should we look and see what Rob's up to? I'm a little scared to go
I'm
over
a little
there.
afraid to, but yeah, let's hop over and see how the
Yeah.
how the rom-coms are shaping up on Rob's side. He did end up with a Southern
Misty Rainforest.
Misty
is
Rainforest.
pretty
Oh, yes, getting caught in the misty rain. It has to be Misty Rainforest. Sower of Temptation. I would accept an argument for Sower of Temptation, but I think it's got to be Misty Rainforest because they get caught in the misty rain. I think that's very strong.
I like Sower of Temptation a little better.
How did he end up with Delver of Secrets?
Hopefully it was a late pick, otherwise.
I don't want to think about...
Now, the thing... You know when somebody's not respecting your... Look at his deck. It's just
very
blue and green.
It's very on color.
I mean, maybe blue and green just tend to lend themselves to the rom-com names.
That's probably
possible.
correct.
Yeah.
Like, Into the Royal, I'm okay with that.
I like that. It sounds like a dramatic rom-com,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Future Sight, sure. Rampaging Baloths, I think, might have been a late pick.
Yeah, and now he's immediately gone for Kiora the Crashing Wave, which, no, right?
Well, given the options here, so I think you're right. Like the red cards typically sound too angry.
Yes.
And the black cards sound too
look
scary.
Like this one, I would say Volcanic Island is the pick here. Because if you told me we're going to go watch a rom-com, it's called Volcanic Island. It's like, okay, they're stuck on an island or it's a thing. But I would not probably go watch Kiora, the Crashing Wave with you.
Probably not.
But interestingly, it's in blue-green, and he seems to be picking it here.
Curious.
I wonder if we can take points away.
Unfortunately, no.
That's not how that works.
No, that is for the Iron Root Chef event.
Oh.
Yes, that's
Keep an eye on
they will
that.
be harshly judged for flavor during Iron Root Chef.
Jeez, that sounds intense. So I'm just going to say right now, no, Sirach.
No.
The Hunt Caller. Look at that. He went right to it.
No. It's Temple Garden.
Temple Garden.
Right? Obviously
Temple
Temple Garden.
Forbidden Alchemy sounds like kind of a messed up rom-com. As does Dreadbore.
I wonder if we're able to get our floor reporter to maybe talk to Robert a little bit.
Can we ask him?
I
kind of demand justification
of Surak over Temple Garden. I'd like to hear how he's justifying this terrible movie. Surak, the Hunt Caller. I guess maybe he's trying to say that they're the leads. Maybe Kiora and Surak are the lead.
He picked Surak.
I don't understand. Thragtusk.
Oh man, Judge has been called. The chat is going nuts.
Yeah.
They do not appreciate this blatant, flagrant fly in the face of the rom-com.
The chat was saying
challenge.
that if you go back to the 1980s, Forbidden Alchemy would have worked perfectly as a romantic comedy too.
That's a good point.
In the sort of the weird science kind of realm.
Speaking of, here's Necromancy.
Yeah.
Now that's probably not a rom-com, but all right. Let's get a word with Tim Willoughby. He's down there with Rob Schuster right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down here in the draft area with Rob Schuster. You're drafting a romantic comedy deck. Now, paint us a picture with words. What's going on here?
So what we've decided is that, one, blue cards are just plain romantic. I never would have considered that before. And we've gone blue-green here. The green is sort of the primal, funny nature comedies. And the blue is more of the thinking person's comedies, where they're able to find matches after examining the love that was inside them all along.
Now, one of the cards that I know quite a lot of people at home would like a little bit more justification for, I guess, is Surak the Hunt Caller. Tell us about that one.
So Surak the Hunt Caller, and let me pull him up here so I can
gotta hear this, Graham.
take a look at good old Surak here. Surak the Hunt Caller is, well, I don't know if you know this, but he's known for punching bears. That's not necessarily romantic, but maybe he runs into a game warden. And the fact that she falls in love with a person who's actually punching bears, that's a romantic comedy I'd pay to see. Here we have I don't know what else really.
Yeah,
The factory, maybe?
Dissipate's good.
Okay.
Either's good.
Like, yeah, it's one of those one word. It's like Amelie, right? Dissipate. And Fire and Ice.
Fire and
Fire
Ice
and
is
Ice has
brilliant.
come back. That's
Yeah,
it doesn't get any better than that. Exalted Angel, Dualcaster Mage, or Hall of Triumph. They may be met in the Hall of Triumph.
I would accept anything except Dualcaster Mage here.
Ooh, okay. Scavenging Ooze. Maybe this is
Okay, so we're going to let them carry on drafting now. Matt Tabak there, the ultimate arbiter of whether or not something is or is not a romantic comedy, rounding out pack 2 here, and we'll pass it back to the booth.
Okay, so Graham, I have a question.
Okay.
Now I saw the chat had, well, they were just calling for DQ.
Yeah, which I don't think we're able to do.
No, but you designed these things, and I thought it was interesting. So Rob talked his way through Surak there, and I think you and I were more focusing on it as a title.
Yeah.
Right, like but he was saying
He's telling
that
a
there's
story.
a story within the card that can be a romantic comedy. Are you buying that?
Upon hearing him say it, I'm more on board. The idea of the game warden falling in love with a guy who she meets punching the crap out of a bear is you could totally see that.
That
as a
movie's
romantic
coming
comedy.
together for you.
Yeah, it's sort of it's kind of working for me. So he's and then Shifty Raffellos shows up. There's a triangle perhaps. I'm
with his cool jacket.
Yeah, I'm understanding more the sort of the direction that he's going. So
all right, so you're buying it a little bit.
A little bit more, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, again, like you say, I was going for sort of the titles of the cards initially, or I was expecting that they would be going for the titles of the cards. Because for the disaster movie, that's definitely happening. Like Armageddon.
Guy got Armageddon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He got the perfect play. We were hoping for that. Yeah, I guess Rob's crafting a narrative here, and I want to hear his whole when he's done with the deck. I want to hear his whole plot line.
Okay.
I want to hear him, especially if he main decks the rampaging Baloths. I want to hear his justification for that.
Now, the stipulation extends to the draft portion only, though, right?
Yes,
you
do not have to play in character.
Okay,
that's correct.
And some of the stipulations.
By the way, Tropical Island was a solid.
Was
pick.
very good.
That was obviously it was on color, but that was a solid pick. The Tropical Island, Elixir of Immortality. That could be
Voyaging
interesting.
Satyr is not an no. Because for my part, no, I didn't buy that nonsense. That I can't. We've got rules manager Matt Tabak standing behind him,
failing to manage
and
the
just
rules.
not doing his.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a word with Tabak and probably on the air.
Probably,
and
yeah.
we'll see how he justifies. Because if I was standing behind him and he even hovered over Surak the Hunt Caller, I'd be like, "Get out of here! Get out!"
I think Elixir's fair.
That
I
one's
think
fair. That one's
Angelic Destiny is strong as well.
Actually, isn't Angelic Destiny better?
Probably. I think Elixir's fine.
Okay.
Could be a sort of a medieval fantasy romance, perhaps.
Okay.
With a vampire. I don't know.
And a bottle full of flowers. Or eyeballs.
Should we...
They're calling for Matt Tabak's head now.
Oh, of course.
It's just, the net gets a little wider.
Should we jump back to Wedge and see how the disasters are going?
Now, I got to say, I like what Wedge has been doing.
Are you able to see any of the AFK folks?
Sure. Who do you want to watch?
Let's see if maybe you can pull up...
You want to see Melissa?
Yeah, sure. Let's
okay.
Let's pull up Melissa.
Yeah, well, we'll stick on Wedge here for a minute and let people get caught up, and I'll bring up Melissa on my screen, and we'll show that.
Oh, it looks like Wedge just grabbed a Day of Judgment. That's solid.
God, Wedge is just crushing this right now.
Yeah. Demonic Pact in this pack. That could totally work. Temple of Malice. Firebolt. Maybe. I don't know.
Holy crap, dude.
So is this Melissa's?
She goof drafted a mono white deck.
Do we know that she picked her first Do we know that she let her?
Her first 3 auto picks were white.
Wow. So this is what she's looking at?
Yeah, and then, you can see in her sideboard, she's got a fair number of cards. Don't click on anything.
Oh, okay.
Don't click on anything.
No? Okay.
It'll...
Oh.
Yeah.
We
we can pick for her from our station here.
What? No.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we do not want to do that. But, yeah, but you can see on the right-hand side of her screen, you can see her sideboard there. And you can see that she's got some... It's like, well, what are these random... Why is Shallow Grave in here? Why would Carrion Feeder? And remember, her stipulation was basically the way that it plays out is you have to let Magic Online auto-draft your whole entire first pack.
Yeah.
And then you can come in and pilot it. So she's clearly saved this in a pretty big way, I think.
Yeah. This is a pretty phenomenal salvaging of something that could have gone very wrong. I wonder what Yol ended up with if he was so lucky. We'll have to see if we can pop in with him.
We will do that. Yeah,
well.
If we want to jump back over to either of our movie ones, I can bring that up for you here.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll pop back over to this is Disaster Time. Halimar Depths he just picked up. No, sorry, Dark Depths. Oh, Dark Depths is solid.
For disaster movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I wasn't thinking Dark Depths would be a great romantic comedy. I'm not going to talk about it.
I mean, I was
Dark. Yeah.
I was open to the idea.
Fair enough.
What the?
And this is Yol's?
Yeah.
How is it also
We'll jump
white?
over to Yol's and...
how is it also mostly white with a little bit of blue? His first 5 auto picks were white. That's amazing. Look at Yol's deck. The AFK... Huh. The AFK drafting seems to be working out pretty well. Now, in Magic Online, if you don't pick, it will just pick the top left-hand... it'll just pick the whatever card from is in the top left.
No,
it
just picks a random card.
Oh, I thought it operated differently than that.
No, it's a completely random card from the pack. It doesn't go by rarity, which is what it would if it was the top left.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so
he just got a Crusade.
And he's got a Mentor or a land tax here.
Monastery Mentor. Does he have any non-creature spells? Yeah, he's got plenty. Holy smokes.
So
wow, they really did a great job with these AFK ones. That's hard. Like just giving away a pack and just saying, okay, well, what's my best cards out of this? That I got to say, both Melissa and Yol have really done a great job of salvaging these drafts.
Yeah. Well, now I'm curious to see something that's just like cratering. There's got to be something going badly out there.
Let's see. We could look at Stibbs' deck. He had one of the harder ones with the modern mage.
There's also Maria is running horrible marksman. Oh, you want to see Kenji's Spellbound?
I want to see Kenji's Spellbound.
All right, we'll pop back to one of the feature match ones, the Romcom or the we're here back at Robert's. No, Robert, don't pick Winter Orb. I'd be okay with Solemn Simulacrum because he's all alone.
It's a slightly sad.
Yeah, it's either at the beginning or the end of a rom-com that doesn't work out or something. Sure, but certainly not Winter Orb. And then we'll jump back and see Kenji's Spellbound picks again.
I think Winter Orb falls into the category of I'm busy that weekend rom-coms for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got Kenji's deck in front of me here.
And again, Kenji's on WorldKnit.
No,
sorry, Spellbound.
Yeah.
Pardon me. We were just looking at WorldKnit. Spellbound. So he can't pick creatures, and it's going okay.
Now, one thing that we'll note here is that he is at 19 cards right now.
Mm-hmm.
So how does he win? I'm looking through.
He's got a lot of land.
Ashiok is a win condition, so that's one.
He'll be able to make playables because he's been picking a lot of land, as you can see over there.
Living Death is hilarious. It's just a wrath.
It's just a wrath.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of planeswalkers.
He's got a Gideon Jura, an Elspeth, and an Ugin. So he right now has 4 win conditions, cards that can actually win him the game.
And he's heavily picking removal because he knows that he doesn't have creatures to interact.
Yeah, one thing that he does seem to be missing a little here, well, I shouldn't say that. He has 2 instances of it, which is actually quite good. He's got 2 sweepers, and those are really important because
also I like that he's got
3 sweepers. I just saw Chroma's Vengeance too.
Yeah, he's
Holy
got
smokes.
Gideon that turns into creatures, or that turns into a creature.
Mm-hmm.
Elspeth, which makes creatures, and Kenji has Ashiok, who can cast your opponent's creatures. So
He just picked up another win con with Soren Markov. That can do 2 damage until your opponent's dead. So that's good as well. But what I was saying is, it's really important because it's just lopsided. If he casts a sweeper spell, he's just not killing any of his guys, and that's a big deal.
also notice he has the Thespian Stage Dark Depths combo
What? Wow, right next to each
sitting
other.
in his sideboard. The chat noticed it way before I did. That he can Thespian Stage Dark Depths and get his token right away.
That's great.
Yeah. So this is coming together pretty well.
Yeah, this is Kenji deciding if he wants to take the Mind Stone or the Murderous Cut. He figures, I've got enough removal. The Mind Stone's really good in his deck.
Oh, Mutavault.
Mutavault.
That's a good pickup too. We were.
God, he did good.
Yeah, we weren't sure how Kenji would do, considering how much he likes to beat down, having the creatureless deck. But it's gone
I'm
fairly
going to
all
admit,
right.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
This is a sweet deck.
I'm surprised.
Wow, that's a nice pickup too. He gets an Underground Sea, 3rd to last. Man, if he could splash that Assemble the Legion, it would be a great win condition too. It really would.
I don't think he has the land to back that up.
I don't know if you're right. Well, so he's got a City of Brass.
Yeah.
Dark Depths and Thespian Stage, a little awkward there.
The only red he has is from City of Brass.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
I
don't
think you're
don't
right.
think he can
Yeah.
do Assemble the Legion. But I don't think he needs it. I mean, look at the rest of the deck.
I think you're probably right about that too.
If he can live long enough to get some of those walkers down, and he certainly has the Wraths to do it, so.
Wow, he's got 23 cards here too. Just made it in the nick of time.
Well, we made playables, everybody.
Arachnos is returned too. Yeah, that red splash is very tempting, but don't think he can really do it.
Like, this seems like a deck I would happily draft voluntarily.
Yeah, I'd play this deck all day.
I mean, I've seen people who draft control decks in Cube, and they have like, well, I guess we'll run 2 creatures.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
So pushing it to the extreme of no creatures still doesn't seem like that bad of a deck. So their draft is over. Let's pop back to the feature match area and see how the disaster deck ended up shaping out. That is all the cards.
Terastodon.
Oh, that's solid.
That's a sweet movie.
So it looks like Wedge is deck building by putting everything in the main deck and then making cuts. And looks like he ended up with some pretty solid stuff. Who else are you thinking we should pop in?
Well,
on?
I kind of want to see what Gabe, the doc is up to. He's on the odds or evens.
Yeah.
What was that stipulation again?
So you can change this as you're going through the draft, but your deck can only have cards with odd CMC or cards with even CMC.
And you can pick
So
after the draft has been finished.
Yeah, so you can pick an odd card and you can pick another odd card, and then you can, and I know this is a weird thing to say, you can discover that even is open. And you can jump.
That is a weird thing to say.
And we're looking at we have Doc's screen up here, and looks like he's gone with
evens. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to get a chance to chat with Doc.
Oh, that's good. He'll have to cut that jackal pup, but he's got this that 2-4-6 curve.
And as we know from recent printings, 0
is even.
Is an even number.
So Ancestral Vision and Everflowing Chalice
those count.
Totally fine.
Love those.
Yeah, we've sent Tim over there to
have a chat with Gabe about how it went.
To have a chat with him. But for now, this looks all right.
It's not bad. I mean,
again, the
I
curve is
suppose
awkward.
It's obvious, but the curve's a little weird.
Do you think it's better to go 2-4-6?
Why is that jackal pup in there too?
I don't know. I assume he's got 29 in the main right now. I assume he's off helping someone else. But do you think it's better to go 2-4-6 or 1-3-5-7 in Cube?
I would assume that 1-3-5-7's better.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the players talking about it at the table when they were being given the stipulation, and one of the things I really liked, I think it was Joel LARSSON who said, you can take like an elf play it on turn 1 and then play a 3 on turn 2.
That's true.
Where it's kind of what that deck wants to do anyway.
Right.
Where 2 drops are 2 and are a little bit more minimized. So I kind of like that idea. That said, I think you're right. I think he's come up with some pretty nice set of spells here. A lot of blue cards. I love seeing that in the cube. He's effectively mono blue. He's got an Elspeth. He's got a Dragonlord Silumgar there and a Ral Zarek that he's looking at, maybe testing the waters on with a Blood Crypt, a Drowned Catacomb, a Scalding Tarn, and a Sulphur Fall. So, he's got some options here on if he wants to take it a little bit different direction here or there, but overall looks pretty good.
Do we have the camera with Doc? No, not yet.
Not
All
yet.
right. That's fine. What's he had? Oh, we do. All right. We're about to throw it down there to see what Doc managed to make of this draft. Odds may not have been open. It's true. All right, there they are.
I'm here on the floor with Gabriele. Now, Gabe, you were on the odds or evens plan, and before the draft even started, you had a couple of options that you were looking at as fairly clear draft strategies for this, right?
Yeah, that's right. We knew that I was either going to do green ramp with 1s for dorks and then later fatties, or I was going to do a blue control deck with counters on 2 and tempo and then walkers later.
Now, as it turns out, you've gone with the counters and the walkers. If there was one thing that you really wanted to open in this entire draft, what was it?
Jace the Mind Sculptor.
And how did that go?
It went well. I think I opened it in pack 3, so last possible moment to get it done, and that was my pack 3 pick 1.
And of course, Jace the Mind Sculptor, a very powerful card, not necessarily one you could reasonably expect to get past. But one of the weird things about this draft format, 3 of the other people in the draft are your teammates, and I saw pretty early on, it looked like you guys figured out where people were sat, and there's a little bit of communication sort of going, can you not pick that and pass that on? How important was that in the overall draft for you guys, do you think?
Very. That was one of the reasons that we figured out where I needed to go early, because Jimmy was passing to me in packs 1 and 3, and so we knew that he was going to be 5-color green because he was the World Knit archetype, and he had to play everything. So when he was taking the dorks, he would be passing me the blue cards, and so I would say, can you ship me Foff or can you ship me whatever, and that would be what he would do. So that was really helpful.
Sneaky plays here from the community team, using every part of the Buffalo to get all of their decks as good as they possibly can. World Knit decks, obviously your deck with the odds and evens. Spoiler alert, it's evens. And it's going to be interesting to see how that matches up. I mean, did you get a sense of if there are going to be any clear archetypes that the other team are going to be doing too? Like, do some of the different stipulations just naturally create particular decks?
Yeah, we were hoping that things would go poorly for their AFK drafter, and hopefully they didn't go quite as well as they did for Yol, but the archetypes we thought would be sort of close to set, and hopefully that'll be to our advantage.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Doc. We're going to be up with our feature matches very, very soon. Deck construction just finishing here. We'll hand it back to the booth.
All right. Thank you, Tim Willoughby. And we've got... Well, we're taking a look at his deck. We've been looking at that for a little while there, but he's still got some building to do here, Graham. This thing's not finished yet.
No, but I like that he mentioned that they were definitely using the fact that this is a team event to their advantage. Figured out, oh, there we go. There goes the Jackal Pup. He figured out who else was on his team was passing to him and was like, ship me the 4 drops, ship me the 6 drops, send the stuff downstream my way.
Yeah, that is the one thing that really makes the Community Cup stand out from a competitive standpoint is that it is truly a team event, and you'll see players jump over during matches to help their teammates out with tough positions. It puts a lot of pressure as well on the really good players out of the group. The elite players like the Yoel Larssons, for the community team, and they're going to take the role in many ways of a leader and as a coach. When you and I were in the Community Cup in 2011, it was Luis Scott Vargas, and we lean on him pretty hard. It's just at the end of the day, if we have a tough position or we're confused about something, it's what does Luis say? And they're going to be doing that with Yoel Larsson and the people who kind of take the leadership role on the team too. And I love watching that. It's actually my favorite part about the Community Cup is that teamwork.
Yeah, I know that especially for the Battle for Zendikar events this afternoon and tomorrow, that many people of the team are just sort of like, so Yoel, what do you think we should pick? Because the full spoiler only came out yesterday, so everyone's been poring over it as much as possible. But so I guess we should look back in on the decks that we're building in the feature area until
see how those came out.
see how those came together. So this is the Romcom. Now he did put Rampaging Baloths in there. I definitely want to see if we can get Tim to talk to Robert about the story of the story of the whole deck. If there's some way that Robert can basically defend the deck as a whole. If he can weave the whole romantic plot line together, I'd love to talk to him about that. Because
we just sent Tim out.
Yeah. What, now, why is he adding?
I want to see if the chat ends up giving this a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
What is he doing with all this?
What? Oh, they're adding basic lands in case they want to change them.
Right. Because of course the tournament structure has to be slightly different here than it would be otherwise because of.
Well, because we tell them when to go.
Yeah,
right. Because
exactly.
if they, you guys of course know how Magic Online works, which is that once the timer gets to 0, the tournament starts.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're covering it, we need to be able to say, hey, hold on for a second, and not have the players use up valuable clock time. So what they end up doing is they'll join in a different room, and they'll play the matches out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that they won't have the ability to add basic lands in between. So
Right.
we make sure that they add a bunch to their sideboard just in case they want to reconfigure their deck or whatever in between games.
Mm-hmm. And then that's how that ends. That's normal, by the way. So here the teams are getting ready, and we're gonna grab Rob in a moment when we have the opportunity to. We've sent floor reporter Tim Willoughby down there.
Hard-hitting floor reporter. Tim
Hard-hitting
Willoughby.
floor reporter
He will
Tim
not pull
Willoughby.
punches.
Indeed.
Actually, he probably will. He's like super nice.
He's a real nice guy.
Yeah. I see Ryan Spain. I secretly root for him. There's Sam Stodd and Melissa DETORA. They
Ryan
work
specifically,
together.
but not the Wizards team as a whole.
That's right, and it's secret, so don't.
Yeah.
Just try not to tell anybody.
Yeah.
If you don't
Everybody keep that on the DL if possible. So we're just waiting for Tim to grab Robert.
You know what we call him?
What's up?
On coverage?
Tim?
The Willa Beats.
The Willa Beats?
Yeah, sometimes I even go one step further and call him the Willa Beatdown.
We're going to bring it back to the booth temporarily just while we get the floor interview set up there.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
So yeah, we're working on getting Tim set up with his microphone and his camera on Rob, but it's not looking good for Rob from a public opinion standpoint.
No.
Now, as it turns out, that doesn't really matter for the tournament.
No.
Like, he's not being judged. This isn't a
he's
flavor
being
judge.
He's being judged.
But not from
by
a tournament
by the court of public
perspective.
opinion.
Yeah. No,
He's being judged
but I was
harshly.
talking about in the realm of the tournament.
No.
He's not.
No, I know.
Right? Like, I mean, he could have been.
That's true.
By Tayback, but he
Yep,
didn't.
yep.
He whatever. However he did it, he let Surrock the Hunt Caller as a romantic comedy slide by.
Yep.
And now he gets to play it. Like he cleared that hurdle, and he can run it in his deck right now if he wants to. So we'll let you at home judge what you think about that. But for the purposes of the tournament, doesn't matter. He got it through our watchful eye, and he's in.
The chat not only has judged him, but deemed him guilty.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wow. That was,
I guess, bad flavor draft. I guess.
I think that Rob can probably take the hit.
Yeah, I think he can probably deflect that.
Yeah.
if need be.
You know, one thing about Rob is if for those of you who play a lot of Magic Online and are interested in keeping up on the happenings with Magic Online and the team that makes it, they have a Tumblr now.
Mm-hmm.
Rob manages that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other people that contribute from the team, but it's kind of his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the answers that you'll see if you go on there to ask questions, he's the one that's writing them and asking questions and reaching out and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a good place for that. Much better than, for example, Twitter, with its character limit and easy to get sort of lost in a comment thread. It's a much better place for
not searchable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Much better place for a ask a question, receive a response thing like that. So
yeah, I know that the Magic Online team has been working on ways to interact more with the community, the user base, and to kind of get out there with that. And I think that this is just one of the latest in a long line that they're going to be doing. So, all right. Well, why don't we send it down to Tim Willoughby, who is with the guilty party, Rob Schuster.
And I'm down here on the floor with Robert Schuster. Now, you are drafting a romantic comedy of a deck.
Yeah, so what I was looking for is cards that represent the title of a romantic comedy. So we had some cards like Soar of Temptation, right? Or Tropical Island. They're crash landed, they find love, there's coconuts and monkeys. It's pretty funny.
Now, a lot of the guys at home got to see much of your draft. They got to see many of your picks, and I think that a lot of them had a huge amount of flavor and sort of show and tell. It sounds like a sort of a nice sort of fun romantic comedy. Some of the green picks, I think some of the folks at home felt were perhaps a little bit more of a stretch. Can you speak to us about a few of them?
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I think Surak the Hunt Caller doesn't sound like the best name for a romantic comedy, but in talking with my flavor judge, he told me there are characters in the romantic comedy, so I needed to find some people to sort of front the movie poster, right? You can't have As Good As It Gets without Jack Nicholson, is what I'm saying.
And then something like Thragtusk. Tell us about that one.
So the story of Thragtusk is actually a romance. It's a beast trying to find his mate. So imagine an animated comedy like Over the Hedge, where or Shrek, where they're trying to find the person that's right for them. And it's sort of these two ships passing in the night story. One of them leaves, the other one shows up. You eternal witness back the other one, and then the cycle just repeats. What's not funny about that?
The circle of life.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now, the Wizards of the Coast team had romantic comedies. The community team had disaster movies.
Yes.
Who do you think had the theme that's going to make for the better deck?
So what we actually found was funny. Wedge and I were chatting just a bit ago. He had the disaster movies. Like some of them sound like both. Crux of Fate could be a disaster movie, could be a romantic comedy. You don't really know until you sit in the seat. But it definitely sounds like Wedge probably has a bunch of removal. So I fear for his opponents, and I'll be warning the Wizards team about him. I feel like my deck is decent, but there were definitely a lot of spots where I couldn't pick the card that was optimal to go into my strategy of making a bunch of mana and living. So instead, I'm going to have to try and beat people down with Den Mother. So,
well, best of luck to you in that. We're going to head back to the feature area now for the commentary for this round. The round's just about to start. Best of luck in this first round of the Community Cup.
So
that wasn't bad.
That wasn't.
Coconuts and monkeys kind of had me.
Solid defense. Some members of the chat room were sold by that.
Okay.
Some members of the community were like, all right, okay, I'm with you, Rob. Others no.
Took the hard line.
Yeah. Now I do want you to ask. I do want you to grill Tabak when he's in here, because you heard Rob there and he said, my flavor judge told me that romantic comedies have characters in them, and that was part of his defense for Surak. So
look, I'm not going to blame Rob here.
No, I know.
I know who I'm going to blame. We'll get to